All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of SEO, no, of live SEOs. I was going to say
SEO
SEO
Live
round.
Stream. But really, you can call it whatever you want. We've got free range over here, baby.
I was going to say SEO round table, which is the Facebook group. Let's try it
Also
again.
good for them to know.
Or do you want to try to do the intro, like to the best of
Sure,
your
sure.
ability, like all
Okay.
one fast,
Start,
quick line?
starting over.
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome
Uh,
to Livestream SEO Roundtable Party Time. I'm Nick. This is Chris, and we're going to answer all your deepest, truest, hardest SEO questions to answer right here in front of a live studio audience.
Getting Dahmer vibes.
I just finished it either yesterday or the day before, and I gotta admit, his calm way of speaking is rather soothing given the circumstances or just given whatever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, I haven't, or at least I don't remember. I am a true crime buff, but I don't know that I've really heard any interview with the actual Dahmer, so I'd kind of like to look it up to see how that actor did. Because I thought his portrayal was good, and I thought the series was good too. They did a good job empathizing with everybody involved in the situation, which isn't very common with a serial killer
Except
biopic,
for the
I think.
cops. They bashed the cops pretty hard.
Yeah,
Well, they made the one kind of cop leader, or I don't know what his
yeah. I
job
mean,
was.
he had
They
to
made him
handle
look all
like,
right.
yeah. I feel like it was like he was in a tight spot there.
Yeah,
But they kind of empathized with the fact that he had to play both fields really, and it's like the regular beat cops didn't like him, and neither did the crowd, so he was just kind of caught there in the middle.
they went really hard on the beat cops.
Yeah, yeah,
I guess kind of deservedly.
yeah. I mean, given the situation,
Yeah, it was pretty extreme.
pretty extreme. Yeah,
Oh
not
yeah,
very
that was
much
crazy.
trying.
Man, just a wild
What,
world, right?
what a world. Yeah, pretty wild.
The whole making zombies thing really just kind of creeps me out.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't
Mm.
really like
But
they didn't really
historically, oh, go ahead.
when the show was going on, they didn't really emphasize throughout the whole show that he was trying to make zombies out of all of them.
Yeah, and I don't know that he really did try with all of them. I
Yeah.
knew it was something that he did attempt,
But towards the
but
end,
yeah, I
they
don't
kind
know.
of, I don't know, there was something they were talking about, and it kind of made it seem like he like was trying it pretty often,
Hmm. Yeah,
like
well,
basically doing like some kind of like brain experiments or whatever.
yeah, yeah, he was trying to get somebody that would be very passive and stay with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Uh,
That's wild.
Anyhow, hope everybody else's day is going great. It is a good series if you haven't seen it, but yeah, yeah, not the
Yeah.
not
If
the
you
happiest of stories.
if you guys don't know what we're talking about, it's it's this. It's a new Netflix series called Dahmer about a serial killer. Um,
True story.
yeah, it's
And that
all.
actor is from American Horror Story. He was really good in that as well.
So I've been basically having it on my like second monitor while I've been like working and stuff the past couple of days.
Mm.
Just kind of like half watching or whatever. It's good though. I really
Yeah,
liked
it's
it.
good. It's a solid series.
All right. Let's see what's going on here. Looks
Don't
like we're
forget to
off to
like,
us.
comment, subscribe. If you haven't already, join us in the SEO Roundtable, which is our Facebook group. If you are not already a member, we're extremely active in there, answering questions daily.
Um, so I know there was something you wanted to start with, but before we do that, real quick, I just wanted to head over and see if there was anything we missed in our Facebook group. Because I think some people, I feel like someone asked me a question somewhere and I
Oh,
forgot about it.
neat. We have 2,000 members at the Facebook group now, huh? I just saw that on your screen. Had not noticed. So 2,000 on the Facebook group, 1,000 on the YouTube. Oh, and that little post just went up. Yeah, they gave us a 3-year reminder. And actually, we've been doing this a little over 3 years now, but or no, right at 3 years. Yeah, the studio's come a long way, huh? Spanning the entire continent now.
Yeah, the old studio.
Yeah,
That was fun though.
yeah, it was good.
The those were the whiskey drinking
Yeah,
office days
we had whiskey back then. Me and Chris are old now. We've matured a little bit, and so
in
there's
3 years.
no more, no more whiskey table at the office. Well, maybe you've got one. I don't have one here.
No, I don't. I don't have any alcohol in the house right now in this place.
Mm.
I haven't drank in a while actually. It's probably I normally drink a little bit every now and then, but I think I'm at like probably at like a month or two
Good for you.
of
Nice.
drinking. What are
Nice.
you at?
I don't drink very often. I have had a couple Miller High Lifes here and there, but that's about where I limit it.
The favorite, huh?
And that's maybe like two times a week, if that.
That's if you're a good boy and you
Um,
get a treat.
Sometimes I feel like having a little treat, and Miller High Life is almost like drinking water, so it's more just about, the feeling of it. But it's interesting, compared to how, for those of you that don't know, me and Chris, we partied pretty hard through our 20s and through our early 30s as well.
Oh no, not me. Not early
No,
30s.
huh? No.
I stopped partying like right around like 30. I was still going out quite a lot, like early 30, and then like
Mm,
later in that year when I was just 30, I kind of really started to settle down and take other things, take SEO more seriously actually.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and so just all the time that I would have been like going out before, I was just doing SEO, learning, trying to, get better at it, work on stuff, make some money.
Well, that wouldn't have been in
Um,
30s though. Early 30.
like that, it was at exactly 30, yeah.
We're the same age, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, either
Yep,
way,
because
we used to party quite a bit, and yeah, I think now we've both grown out of it.
yeah.
But I still
Well,
like a little taste here and there.
we'll see. I think a lot of it has to do with just like your environment and like what you've got going on around you
For
at the
sure,
time.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, I definitely can't handle
Yeah,
it physically
we'll
anymore.
see what happens once you get to South Korea or Chiang Mai, and all the SEOs want to party fiesta.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I would be very surprised if I was like partying all the time, but I'll definitely go out and party more than I do now. But I'll also pay for it and I'll be in bed for like a day or two, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, but let's go ahead and get into it. You guys know how it works. Go ahead and drop your questions in the chat and we'll get to them as soon as we can. Or else we've got a backlog of stuff we'll be getting to. It looks like we're off to a bit of a slow start
But
today.
we are going to start off right with an audit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, let me pass
you
those
told me to
over to
write
you.
this. I don't know what that means.
We haven't done an audit in a while, so I think this will be pretty fun. I got a little chance to look it over
Yeah,
yesterday.
it's nice. If we don't have a lot of questions, we can just go deep on the audit. So that'll give us some time to do that.
Let's see here. All right, passing to you on Skype, I guess. Or do you want it on Facebook?
Facebook.
Okay. One. And so this person had asked us a PBN question in SEO Roundtable, and
Well, let's set it up for the stream first, and so everything you're saying will be in the video. Do you think we should audit them like for like the same video, or we're gonna split it up on the two separate videos, or
we can
what?
do the same video. They've got the same issue going
Okay.
on. And yeah, if you want to
So
you can. I mean, I can still give background because we don't need to pull up
what should
what
I
he
write
said.
here? Site.
Site audit,
We'll say two site audits.
PBN concern.
PBN concerns.
Boom.
Okay.
So yeah, this person asked in the group whether they should change their anchor text. I guess they used a money anchor, and they thought that it was either hurting their site or it was not reacting positively, and so they wanted to change to a natural anchor, branded, naked, or random, generic.
Like one PBN link?
Right, one PBN link. And so anytime we hear this
Okay.
right out of the gate, I'm typically going to say just PM me the URLs, because it's very rare that you're going to hit something with a PBN link. Now, sometimes you can get volatility from just using one PBN link, but he said it had been a couple weeks. And so typically, we're not going to see just one PBN come in and just
Yeah.
completely screw up what's going on with the
Yeah.
site, unless
Like
there's a
one
lot of
link,
other
one
variables.
anchor.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't really work like
not
that.
really. Yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and I guess throw the first one up in Ahrefs.
That's this one.
Sure. Yeah, that works. I mean, um, they're both really they've got the same issue, so we're gonna kind of
That's
just
okay.
go through them, in unison.
So I'm gonna throw one up for
Yeah.
the stream. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I already know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and the September update looks like it affected this site as well. I don't know about you kids out there, but I know the September update has not
I've
been
seen a
very
decent
kind to
amount
me.
of people that have gotten hit actually. I didn't think it was really like a big thing, but I've seen a decent amount of people that got hit.
I've got
Which,
a couple sites that I'm working on that did something like this too. Now, today I was
which ones?
noticing, huh?
Can you somehow tell me which ones
No.
without giving it away?
I mean,
Whatever. I'll ask
no,
later.
yeah. But what I've noticed is, and this is something that I've seen happen before, right? So, whereas this might be cause for concern, and we're getting a little off topic here, but where this might be cause for concern for a lot of people. Remember, we just had two algo updates roll out, one after another, 1 month from each other. And typically, when you see insane volatility like this, there's going to be some kind of corrective nature to it, especially if you see it across a lot of sites, which I have been noticing. And today, when looking at more specific rank trackers, I'm noticing a lot of rankings start to kind of come back. So I don't know what's going on exactly. It hasn't been very long since this started. But I'm just kind of letting Google do its thing, and for me currently, it's stay the course, because I do feel like we're putting out good content, we're doing proper backlinking campaigns, and yeah, we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. So back to this domain, you note that it does have a hard crash. Now,
Well,
good.
I was gonna say, just looking at it straight off, I mean, you're talking about like from like 20 traffic
Right.
down to 12
Mm-hmm.
traffic. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not even really worth writing home about.
yeah. And you got the keywords going up.
Yeah,
Just like looking at this like right away, if this was my site, I'd be like, oh, that sucks. What it looks like one of the keywords probably just dropped off of
yeah.
page one or something.
Hmm.
But the traffic is so low at this point, and you got the keywords still growing up. Like I just wouldn't worry about it at all, to be honest. But we'll
Now,
definitely look into it further.
what I would say is concerning is if you look how long this site has been gradually going up. Typically, if I've built a solid site, how many months was that? I can't really see the graph.
I mean, this is like a few months right here.
Right, it's like a few months. It's a local niche site, I think. Or I guess maybe they do national campaign. But either way, for a site of this size, something that we've been working on for a few months, it's really got very limited traction in the SERPs. And that's what kind of led me to believe that there was something else going on. I mean, like, it's easy to order a PBN And this is another thing, if you're only right here with your project and you're not really 100% certain, which I'm not saying this specifically about this person, but just anybody who's in this position, you only just started getting traction, etc., and you're not sure about using black hat methods like a PBN, then I would say it's not the right time to use something like a PBN, much less something for a money keyword anchor. Especially if then you're worried about volatility involved being something that kind of like worries you. Did I do something wrong? Because I've talked about it a lot early on in my SEO career. I was trying to go that route, get the quick gains, etc. And all that ever happened was I would fill my head with, inconsistencies and things that would make me think, oh, shoot, I did something wrong. Now I'm going to be sandboxed forever, yada, yada. And there is no better game for Google to play or for search crawlers to play than that right there. Because that'll make you timid in your project. That'll make you, rethink everything that you're doing. And in the end, it's what causes a lot of SEOs to fail right out of the gate. So just a fair warning. But in analyzing a website like we often do, we're going to start off by looking at the traffic. So there we looked at the traffic and the organic keywords for 4 or 5 months of working on this site. It looks like it doesn't have too much traction, right? So then the next thing I like to do is jump directly into anchors, because it's going to tell me the most about what somebody is doing with their backlink profile. And for both of these assets that we're going to audit, you'll notice that here is, I think, where some of the main concerns come up. Are you on anchors right now?
No, I'm just looking at what happened, like what happened to his keywords, like what keywords dropped
I'll
and how
say
many
this
positions they
too.
dropped by.
Ahrefs has been really wonky since the September update.
Yeah, like for example, the traffic change column is just blank.
Yeah, but that actually
Which,
has been happening to a lot of sites that I've been monitoring, where I'm talking about massive page one positions, all of a sudden just erased overnight. And now, mind you, like I said earlier, I've
just in
noticed some
Ahrefs or
specific using SE ranking, etc.
okay.
Really fell out. But I've noticed that today, for a lot of those that I was monitoring, they've started to come back. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how this plays out. It's a bit early to tell.
So just looking at the keywords real quick before we move on to the anchors, I just want to say what we're looking at here is basically stuff dropping from like high page 3 to like page 4 or 5. Like I don't see anything on Ahrefs at least here's one that was on like very bottom of page 2,
Yeah.
then fell to the bottom of page 3.
Yeah.
So we're not even really seeing anything. It just nothing had really been even moved up to like the competitive positions yet, mid page 2, top of page 2 type stuff.
Right.
Okay, so let's go on. You want to go to anchors?
Sure. And we skipped looking over the on page, but overall, I remember kind of looking at it. It looked pretty good to me from an on page standpoint without getting into it too hard. So then going to anchors.
Okay, yeah.
And we're going to see that right up at the top, where we like to see natural looking anchors, branded, naked, some random stuff in there. Instead, what we're seeing is I can't read those, but very specific anchors, if I remember correctly. And then if you click down on the referring domains or links to target, you'll be able to see that a lot of these, which are naked URLs, and we're talking about like the top one is like 42 of those out of how many referring domains total? I can't remember, but it's like 140. So 42 going to an inner page, 27 going to an inner page, 20 going to an inner page, 16 going to an inner page. The first one that pops up for the home page, I believe, is 10 going to the home page for a naked URL. And these are all naked URLs, right? So then if we click on referring domains and see what these are, they're basically like directory type spam links, and not spam as in if you use these properly to the homepage, they would be bad links. But when we talk about directories or, using the same kind of more so spammy type links, like, we can talk about this one, scoop.it. It's something that comes with a bunch of Fiverr links. It's not a bad directory to be in, but you don't need every single inner page to have a link from scoop.it and then the other, however many of these links that you're kind of just like, it looks like you're ordering the same link packages
So it's kind of
to
like
each inner page,
so it's kind of
right?
like
This would be,
C-tier directories.
yeah, exactly. So, I like to mix them in on my beginning campaign as foundational or pillow style links, but that's to the homepage, naked, branded URL to the homepage. Now, what we're looking here is an extreme imbalance that's going to inner pages rather.
He's using like the same directories on each page.
Exactly. And he's got this going on with both of these assets. So both websites.
Done the same exact thing.
Basically the same type of thing. And then, orders a PBN link and see some adverse effects because, you're basically just adding something that's rather unnatural to an already unnatural profile. Whenever we start link building, we need to look at the full view of the campaign. Google is taking into account everything that is hitting your website, everything that's going on with your website, and they are painting a narrative about whether this looks natural or not and whether it'll be rewarded in the SERPs. And when you kind of get off on the wrong foot, so you've ordered, these kind of directories, each the same ones, and it's good that you did naked URL over money anchors, which we see a lot of people try.
Well, he's actually got if you like just ignore these C-tier directories that he built, you see his number one spot would be branded anchor, which is cool. Number two is miscellaneous, which is cool. And then comes all the exact match.
Oh, and so that's like 5 in comparison to 10, 9 in comparison to 10, right?
They add
as far
up,
as
right?
the referring
So
domains.
like boom,
yeah,
boom,
of course.
boom, boom,
yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
So, you look at this thing and you're like, okay, well,
it's different exact
anchors alone, don't look natural. And then where the links are coming from does not look natural. Going in after you've already purchased a PBN link, which is, if you're not really painting the full picture, then it's going to look unnatural again, especially depending on the quality of the PBN. If you go in and then that's already been indexed and then you start changing anchors, scrambling, well, that's an even higher probability that you're going to mess more stuff up, right? So basically, you've got an extreme anchor issue and an extreme referring domain / backlinks issue. Or I said extreme. I don't necessarily think it's extreme.
It's just
because
that
you do have some traction.
So I think this is like kind of like my theory of I think you're exactly right. It's basically just low quality link building. So I think what's happened, which happens a lot when people do this kind of link building in the beginning, is they'll get this traction like we see on the graphs, right? It's like, oh, I'm it's working. I'm doing SEO. Google loves it. And then Google kind of like realizes what's going on, wakes up the morning after and is like, actually, this sucks.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of take it away. But not that he really even got up high or anything, but basically he brought the site to life just using some, basically some low quality directories and a bunch of exact match anchors. But yeah, and then he adds the PBN on top of that, which is just another thing making things look more unnatural, right?
And when you do something like this, there is a high probability you do, quote, get sandboxed, right? That you're just going to stay in this level where maybe you get some top 100 results, but nothing is going to add up to traffic for you because it's just in this kind of purgatory stage where nothing really looks natural, so you're not going to be rewarded
Google
for that.
basically thinks you're shady.
Right. Now, since you have anything else you think we should go over?
Google will like say hi to you at a party, but then they won't have a conversation with you. They'll like try to
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
get away, but
Walk
they
away real
won't like
quick.
really like talk shit about you or anything, or like say anything bad to your face, but they think you're kind of sketchy.
Okay, we're enough. I feel like now we're kind of getting, let's be productive now. Unless you've got something else you think we should dig into. But I think for this asset, the main way, and for those of you that are newer to the show, the main way we like to audit a site, look at the overall narrative of what's going on in Ahrefs. Is it going up? And now, mind you, we use Ahrefs, but there are countless other tools, Majestic, SEMrush, etc., that you can use to kind of get an idea of what's going on. But yeah, so overall narrative, does the DR look natural in relation to how many referring domains are pointed at your site, backlinks? Are you gaining traction in the SERPs, or have you been hit hard? In this case, it'd be hit hard. Okay, then let's check the anchors, then let's check the referring domains, then let's check the backlinks. And looking through that data, you're going to be able to get a much bigger picture or better picture of what might be going on with your site. Some sites are a little bit easier to digest and figure out kind of what looks most unnatural. And also remember that whenever something like this happens, there is always a remedy to what you can do to help fix things. Now, sometimes that's as complicated as having to buy a new domain, maybe 301. But a lot of
The links
times,
aren't looking too good either.
no, they're not great links.
A lot of them are not very relevant either.
No, they're kind of that Fiverr spam I like to
Yeah, a
use
lot of like
right out of the
profiles
gate.
too.
hmm
Yeah, you just
So, where do we go from here?
the same
You
thing we do every
are
time.
Yeah, well, what I would start off with is focusing exclusively on your homepage with naked, branded, and generic style links. No more money anchors, no more sending links to the inner pages, just higher quality. If you want to start off with directory links, citations, that kind of stuff, pillar linking, that's fine. But do it properly. It doesn't make sense for each interior page to have links from the same low quality assets with the same types of anchors, right? So start diversifying what you're doing, but exclusively to the homepage. In there, also mix in, take part of that budget and use more natural links, talking guest posts and niche edits. Okay, PBN. Quite honestly, this site is not in a position where it should be using PBNs right now. You've already got one or a couple, that's fine. Leave them, move on from there.
Yeah.
And then start mixing in some higher authority, some better quality links into your campaign, but exclusively to the homepage. And do not deviate from that plan until you see these rank graphs start to correct themselves. And I'm not talking about the first month you see a little blip going up. I'm talking about your site has been rewarded in the SERPs, it's starting to gain traction, and then you can kind of start moving to inner
Wait till you
pages.
get
But
like a
again,
couple hundred traffic and you can sustain that, I think,
yeah,
probably for
and
this site.
you're getting some leads, etc., right? Because yeah, you're getting a little ahead of yourself, which it's okay, right? A lot of SEOs do this. I know I did it early on, where you're trying to hit that big ticket. But the fact of the matter is, and Chris has posted about this, time is one of the best things to have on your side in the SERPs.
Yeah. So initially I had seen his question too. He was talking about he thought it was the PBN link that caused this, and that he wanted to change the anchor text on the PBN link, and like that was going to maybe solve the issue. I would just say absolutely not. Don't at this point don't do anything else weird. That's not a natural thing to do, and it's already a PBN link. Just leave it alone. Leave everything alone. Don't worry about changing any of your links ever really. Don't even really worry about disavowing the site or anything. It's fine. I would just, like Nick said, focus on your homepage only. Nick was saying adding more pillow links. I wouldn't even really worry about adding pillow links unless it's just like the big directory, like the big citations, like normal citations. I didn't, citations don't always show up on Ahrefs, so we don't really know what you have or whatever, but all the kind of directories we saw were all kind of just, C tier, kind of like low level stuff. So if you want to add more, you definitely can do that. But in general, I would just stick to the good stuff, niche edits and guest posts to your homepage, natural anchors, branded URL, generic. You can even do some like long tail kind of topical stuff that's kind of like random or kind of weird, but still like on the topic of your site. Stuff that you're not trying to rank for. But yeah, it's not really the end of the world. This site is like at the very beginning of its journey, right? And you saw a little pop from what you did. Then Google's like, hey, actually this isn't looking too great. But at the same time, like the site is still adding keywords and stuff. So, I just, I'm definitely not like, if this was my site, I wouldn't worry about it at all. I would just start working on good links, adding good content, just keep doing all the good stuff. Focus on quality a little bit more here and just homepage for now. And just keep doing that, like Nick said, until you can just see some sustained growth for a while.
We glossed over on page a bit, but now while you've been talking, I was like, let me pull some stuff up and just kind of inspect a bit more. So if you want to check out in the menu 1, 2, 3, 4, it's the first area service page.
The location page.
No, sorry, I'm looking at the other website now. Yeah, that one there. It's going to be the first location page that shows up, but I'm sure any of them will kind of do that. And then you start to go down, and the first contextual area, you see a bunch of inner links, outbound authority links, and then directly under that, in what looks almost like a footer, you see a bunch of doubling up on location-based links that are going to different areas. Anyhow, there's a lot of needless linking going on in here, in my opinion.
Got some white text down here.
I didn't even see
Look
that.
at this.
Yeah, so he's got hidden text.
With just keyword stuffing.
Keyword stuffing. Yeah. Okay. So,
Come on, bro.
Yeah. And so you're gonna need to rethink your on page a bit too. Some of these things that you're doing are old school. Like the keyword stuffing in white text over white background.
You can't do that.
And then you've got, like these GMB links to all these random spots. Oh, okay, so they are interlinks here. That's weird. Oh, some of them are, and then some of them go to GMBs. For
I see what
this,
he's trying to do. He's trying to give like location relevance.
Yeah, for stuff like that, I would worry more about like hub pages, right? Like, so a locations link, maybe in the footer somewhere, that then, goes to a categories page or something where, all your posts about the locations that you serve are going to be in there. This is a bit overdone, in my opinion, on the interlinking.
Yeah, I don't like how he does like about. So like he's got the city and then he's got the areas of the city, and each one is just like about that area of the city. Like, why not make it about, your service in that area of the city instead? Like we serve these locations in this city, and then you can go to those pages and they tell a little bit about your service in that location, and then they, link back to the main city page.
Yeah. So
yeah, and these and the directions, could go on those little pages as well. area pages.
Uh,
But yeah, like like Nick was saying, and overall, the on page definitely looks like overdone and unnatural. They're just like jamming their
as far as
main keywords in like all
the
the
linking
headings
goes.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, just even like the headings and stuff.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
Yeah, try using
like
synonyms and rewording things a bit to explain the same thing, right?
yeah. So like when I look at this, so uh, Google, one of the things they talked about in like one of their most recent updates was um, basically, are you making content that's designed for search engines and not people?
Right.
And when I look at this page, that's like the only thing I think about. It's like this is like literally like they don't think about the person at all, really. It's just like how can we jam everything in that we need to do?
Yeah.
But they're using like these kind of old school tactics and
And my
stuff.
guess is Google knows by now that if you've got white text over a white background, you're
Yeah,
not
that's a big
speaking
no-no.
to anybody that's landing on your page.
I can't remember they have a name for
Do
it,
they?
but yeah,
It's kind of
it's a no-no
masking
for
or
sure.
something.
Something like that. Yeah, I definitely want to get rid of that. But yeah, overall, just with the off page and the website itself, it just seems like over optimization and shortcuts.
Hmm.
It's just like shortcut on everything. Like everything is just trying to, I don't know.
So for on page, how would you
Look at all these
remedy
links, like
this
you said. It's great.
situation? On a personal level, you're not getting traffic already, right? So don't fear messing with stuff here. Go ahead. I would personally remove all these interlinks. Um, and then hypothetically, with the amount of content that you've got on here, maybe look for 3 to 5 interlinks that make sense, look natural here. And if you,
Look at this
no,
though.
yeah, I saw.
He's even got outbound links to like
Yeah, to random stuff that
Wikipedia location page, TripAdvisor,
Stripe.
Stripe.
Yeah, right. And we're
Uh,
trying to you're trying to rank for local stuff. So like an about outbound authority link that I might use in a local situation would be like a local.gov site, right? And a Wikipedia page can work as well. But a lot of people that automatically go to Wikipedia, you'll come to find that they love going to Wikipedia for everything, which is just going to be another kind of no-no, right? Like you want to diversify your outbound authority links. You want to diversify your interlinking. All of this is going to look more natural than somebody that's, just kind of stuffing things in, and especially with the outbound authority links here, they don't really tell a lot as far as the narrative for what you're trying to rank for, which is a local service page.
so just like when you're thinking about what you're linking to from a very important page like this one, which is this page is probably supposed to be one of your major ranking
Right.
pages. Like, is a customer who lands on this page, will they ever want to go to a Wikipedia about the location? Will they ever want to go to TripAdvisor about the location? Will they ever want to go to Stripe? Will they ever want to go to any of these other pages you've linked to? Will they, if I'll say different cities, but it's like, for example, if this was a Houston location page, he's also linking to like his just randomly, he's linking to like, for example, like New York and Los Angeles. Like the person wants to get their whatever done in Houston. Why would they want to go click and
Right.
see what's going on? And it just
Yeah, you're doing it for Google essentially, or crawlers in
yeah.
general, right? But that's not necessarily what the crawlers want anymore either.
Yeah, there's a lot to clean up here. I feel like we need to go like back to basics, back to fundamentals.
Yep.
Don't try to do too much. Try to do the very basics,
Hmm.
and
And if you've
concentrate.
got questions about what that is, go to the SERPs you're trying to rank for and look at what the people that have been rewarded with the top positions are currently doing, and kind of emulate that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, we're definitely here in the group. This is going to be a bit of a process, I think, to basically, help you out and try to get you on the right path because there's just a bunch done wrong here.
But
yeah,
everything is always fixable.
it's
Just,
definitely
remember
fixable. It's
that.
100% fixable. It's not the end of the world. These sites are pretty small. You don't have a ton of links. You didn't spend a bunch of money on the links. It's 100% fixable. But yeah, we're definitely in the group for you. I would start with, I don't think we have a good article on like interlinking.
I don't think so
I was
either.
gonna say
We've talked about it on Livestream a bit, but
our on-page
you
SEO
know,
article is good for just
another
like the fundamentals, but
another thing I just noticed
huh.
is it's not unique content for these pages.
It's all yeah, it's just like it's all just like shortcuts and trying to game the algorithm rather than like
Yeah,
focusing on doing anything just like correctly and looks nice and
naturally.
natural, yeah. Um, Maybe that's the word of that's the main idea of our feedback for this audit is you need to focus on doing things naturally. Like
Hmm.
we are SEOs, so we are gaming the system, but you need to do it in a much less blatant way.
Well, and remember, right? Like there are different schools of thought. If you're coming to us, we do typically promote things that are going to have longevity in the SERPs, right? Even if we're tailoring in kind of a little bit spammier tactics or something like that, it's going to be with longevity in mind. These things that we're looking at here remind me of about, like 10 years ago when I got my
Yeah.
start and you download these tutorials that are currently working off Black Hat World or any number of places similar to that, that would work then, right? But they are so gamey and they are so obvious that the tactics run once SEOs worldwide found out about them and started abusing them, those tactics, were eliminated as a possible use. It's not to say that you can't get stuff like this to work here and there, but you're better off if you're fairly untrained in this kind of stuff, then you're better off just going the way more natural, slow route for the longevity of what you're doing. Because ultimately, when you get into a position like this, okay, well, now you're in a position of auditing, and now you realize, well, shit, I've got to go back and I've got to basically gut this thing and almost start over using a different tactic, right? So the shortcuts became the long road in the end.
The longer road.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But again, I mean, shit, I've been there a million times early on in my SEO career. You can get out of it.
The cool thing though is that the site is basically we don't really believe in like a hardcore sandbox, but the site is
Yeah,
basically out of the sandbox. Like Ahrefs is picking it up, is showing keywords, is showing some traffic. Google is starting to kind of move it around and stuff. It's kind of come to life a bit, and that's like the worst part. I think it's just
hopefully
like
the September update though is we're hoping that let's see what happens with this thing. I'm I'm not feeling too great about it myself.
what do you mean? You mean for this site or for your sites?
Just for any site, but this site got hit with it, right? So let's see, because we're saying it's got traction, and hypothetically, before that hard dip, it did have
Well, I'm just
traction.
saying,
But the September update obviously popped it.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like the worst place to be is like before, just like nothing's moving. It's like the very
Yeah, sure.
beginning and just like nothing's happening. You're doing all
Yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and so it's already starting to happen. So now you can go in, you can start making the changes slowly and surely. I bet if you just went in there and gutted the site and just made it some super basic site with just like very simple interlinking, I bet like it would like double or triple its traffic
I would think so
from
too.
its
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
Like it would just be like, okay. Like even with like the low quality links and stuff, I bet just like going and just like yeah, back to basics on the website itself would just have awesome results for it.
Mm.
Um, but anyway, do we have anything left to say about this one? Is there anything else you wanted to look at on it or?
Just in considering the recourse of action, which is a disavow, I wouldn't do that until I've exhausted
No.
everything else. So, fix the on page, start doing better with your backlinking, exclusive to the homepage, natural anchors. And if over the course of, a few months, you can't get it to act properly, then maybe a disavow would be something worth considering.
Yeah, go back to basics on the website. I wouldn't worry about disavowing anything. I feel like I mean, we're talking about like directories. It's just, I'd be really surprised if you couldn't just like push forward and the links
Yeah.
were the problem. Yeah, but yeah, back to basics on the website. If you're really lost and you're really not sure what to do, just go look at the top ranking sites. Go look for sites that are similar to yours that are in the top ranking spots and just look how they're doing it. And you're not going to find any that do like, for example, even if we're just talking about only the interlinking, you will not find a single site doing the interlinking like you've done it, I don't think. But yeah, anyway, the top ranking sites are very good. Uh, you could just model your site out. You could even like copy their exact structure if you wanted to, if you really needed some guidance on it. Um, but yeah, not the end of the world. Definitely fixable. You're still in the very like beginning, and yeah, it's yeah, not too big of a deal. All right, we done here?
I believe so.
All right. Whew, okay.
That was actually a longer audit than I thought it would be. I thought we had a lot of info there.
All right. Let's see. Definitely a slow stream day. I don't think we've ever had
Mm.
one this slow.
Well, if it's too slow, we'll call it early. Get in there and ask your questions, people. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the show and haven't already. Join us in SEO Roundtable, where we're very active. That's a Facebook group.
What was your aha moment in SEO, the biggest revelation, and the moment that led to substantial website growth?
Hmm.
Do you have any aha moments?
There would be a few of them. But I think the one that really resonates with me, that I think about a lot, was the first time that I saw a piece of content go viral naturally. It was a friend's site, and he released a piece of information that went viral. Overnight, an inner page to a very small site was just hit with a ton of links. And in analyzing that data and looking through those links and seeing how the site just skyrocketed overnight, I got ideas of what might look natural um, in the SERPs that I could play with and that I could kind of create recipes to kind of emulate. Um, and so that was a huge aha moment, but that didn't come until, I was already fairly successful as an SEO. For that was a really big thing. I think in analyzing data, which is what a lot of people forget to do as an SEO, you've got to explore. Like you've got to look at what is moving, what websites are doing well, and you have to have an inquisitive mind. Meaning you got to jump in there. You got to start looking at what is creating these rewards for these sites. And the more you do that, the more you're going to be able to create a recipe for success in your mindset. I think as an early SEO, if you're asking from that point of view, the aha moment was SEO can take you in a million different directions. And as you learn more about it, you start to eat with your eyes and get excited about what potential you have to move into. And so a lot of SEOs that I've worked with early on, and myself included, we would get ahead of ourselves with certain parts of exploration. And before really like monetizing one and doing well with one, we would jump ship and try something else. Stay the course is something that, I learned with my first business that I really stuck to, which was actually selling PBNs. Which was, I know why I'm building this thing, and it'd be easy to continually start new affiliate websites. Um, but I need to keep my head focused on one project. And so I would say, an aha moment was just learning to stay the course and not kind of jump ship continually on the next shiny object that occurs in SEO.
Yeah, so I think for me it was like in the very beginning, kind of part when I was still learning a lot, and I was just like really overwhelmed with everything, and um, it just seemed I was like completely scattered, right? And it just wasn't all like really like fitting together yet. But then my biggest aha moment was really because I, was really like internalizing and really like understanding and feeling that literally you can go look at the answers. Like you can basically cheat on the test and look at the answers at any time. So, you have Ahrefs, you have Screaming Frog, you have Google, you have the internet, you have google.com. The fact that at any given moment, you could go and you could basically just reverse engineer any site on the internet, see exactly what they're doing, and just do that, and then you're going to rank. Like, so basically, just the idea that you're not alone. You don't have to like think up some like crazy stuff and like reinvent the wheel and do all this crazy stuff perfectly. You can literally just go like look at the top rankers and do that, and you're going to do great. I know it sounds like a kind of like stupid thing, but I think just in the beginning, I was like trying to all just kind of like make it like this. I gotta do, like, I don't know. It was like I felt like on my own and like just kind of like unguided, but then realizing that Google like literally shows you the answers all the time. Then with a tool like Ahrefs, you can reverse engineer their links, see exactly what kind of links they're building, exactly what kind of anchors they're building, exactly what kind of like, how they're hitting their different pages and their homepage and whatnot. You can go look up, all their on-page SEO. You can look up their content. You can like just analyze every single thing about a website and you can just copy the answers to the test. I'm not saying copy their content, but you could just like, if you wanted, you could model a site completely, exactly like another site with your own content and whatnot, and then go and you know even reach out to the people they got links from and try to get all their links and whatnot. Yeah, just realizing that all the answers are right there, and that even though I wasn't quite understanding it all, and it wasn't all like really tied together yet, the fact that if I had these tools, if I sat there for long enough and looked at what they were doing and tried to reverse engineer things, I would eventually, basically have the answer. And then I remember, more recently just the idea of like going and like updating websites, and just having like amazing like pops just from like updating and like not even like really doing much to sites, but just like doing something to them. And I don't know, that was just kind of a fun moment as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think those are all solid aha moments. But the
All
longer
right.
you stay in SEO, the more it's a complex kind of thing to learn. So there's going to be lots of them, and enjoy and savor every single one of them. Don't forget to like,
It's hard
comment,
to savor
subscribe.
things when you're stressed
Yeah,
out.
it's so fucking true. So true.
All right. Let's see. This is kind of a long one. We're gonna have
Can
to
we
probably
do
cut
it?
it in half or something.
Okay.
Hi, Nick and Chris. I have a general health affiliate site that earns with single product reviews best X for X. Since it's a general niche site, 3 years age domain, general niche site, okay. But he's doing general health affiliate. Okay, so general niche
So
site, three
repurposed
years,
age domain, I guess is what he's saying, in the
three
health
years age
niche.
domain that rank for random niche health supplement. I'm starting to think it's better to build some topical authority in one niche with content and links. For example, supplements for better bed performances. What do you think? Going vertical on one health topic and then start with another one? I finish the first, or continue to publish random health product? Yeah. Wait, so let me make sure. Here, Let me delete the first part of the question, I guess. Ugh, it's all messed up. Going vertical on one health topic and then start with another one and finish first, or continue to publish random health product reviews. I see now topic authority is a big thing. And how would you proceed in this case? Thanks. Hope the question is clear. No, 100% clear. Yeah, I think you're right too. You're on the right idea, and that is I would stick to like one thing at a time. So like you're saying, like topical authority is really big now, especially if like if you're in health. I think it's probably even bigger. It's more important to really cover these topics fully. So you could just figure out like one section, one type, if you want to do like supplements for like performance in bed or whatever, and just like really like do a ton of content, a ton of different articles about that, rather than going and doing like one supplement for like performance in bed. Here's like why do my knees hurt on a different article. So rather than like doing like other it's all health, but rather than just going all over the place with health, like super general health, I think like you said, really tackling like one section at a time, one part of your niche at a time is a really good idea. And I think you'll end up getting results a lot quicker that way than if you were to kind of be more scattered like you were talking about. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I would agree. It's best to build out the topical map in sub niches of the niche. Now, mind you, depending on a lot of different variables, like how powerful the site is, how much time it's been in the SERPs, what kind of traction it's got in the SERPs too, you can get away with being more general. It just depends on how competitive the niche is, etc. But for something like health, my guess is you definitely would have an advantage by going in and covering these topical maps in their fullest before moving on to a new thing.
Yeah, because like health is like a huge niche.
Yeah.
So like let's say your niche was like drones. Then you could like, it's a much smaller niche, so you could just kind of do random stuff about drones if you wanted to, rather than saying like, I don't know, really focusing on one like sub niche of drones, like probably less necessary. But health is such a huge, massive niche with like so many just little, chutes and ladders and whatnot. Definitely a good idea. You're 100% right.
Yeah. And even if you're doing a little bit overkill on, the side of content, it's better to do that, in my opinion, than to go thin, get some rankings, and then maybe an update comes up and decides, oh, well, they're pretty thin in comparison to other people, right? You want to be ahead of the game typically. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Slow stream.
Very slow stream. Where is
it's kind of weirding. Yeah, it's kind of weirding me out a little bit.
Getting ready for winter or something?
I don't know. It's like insanely slow. Anyway, I wanted to answer this one. This was a question in our group the other day. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Should we look at PBNs as hot dog water unless we get them from you guys? First of all, I want to say I'm going to start trying to use that a little more.
Hot dog water.
The term hot dog water, kind of like Limp Bizkit, the Limp Bizkit album. Hot dog flavored water.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
But no, so the deal with PBNs is that there are a bunch of people selling PBNs, and I would say probably would you agree with me, Nick, that the like extreme majority of them are pretty bad?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're definitely not the only good provider. And there's a ton of people that build PBNs just for themselves, like private PBNs or for their clients or whatever. So no, we're definitely not the only good PBN provider out there. You just need to, if you want to go and look at other providers and stuff, you need to, test diligently. Don't go just put in some huge order, start small, maybe test on some sites you don't really care about too much, kind of doing that type of thing. But yeah, there's definitely other good providers out there.
Are there?
What, I mean, I don't buy PBNs from anyone else. I would I would assume there has to be other good providers out there. I don't think it would be possible that we're the only good PBN quality PBN provider. But that being said, you are correct that I can't name another one. But I'm also not like going out and like testing other providers and stuff. So I'm not really a good person to ask about that really.
Yeah, like I said in my response to the guy, I agree. The answer is no, right? But and I pointed them maybe to Rank Club, who I'm not familiar. I haven't used any of their stuff in recent years or anything, but I do know that they've got a long-standing history of building quality PBN, right? It started with
I forgot
Matt
about them
Diggity,
actually.
and he was kind of the godfather of bringing PBNs, high-quality PBNs, to the masses, so to speak. I know that when I got my start in building PBNs, there was another handful of people that also started providing them. And I know that last I heard was somebody was testing out all our PBNs. An update happened. And I remember them coming to us and saying, out of all the PBNs that I tried out, and they'd done this whole campaign with their website based around, auditing PBNs. They said ours were the only ones left standing. Now this was, a long while ago, even pre-Sir Links, but I don't know that any of those vendors are still around. And quite honestly, like if y'all do know any good PBN suppliers, please put them in the group, because it's not something where, like, in my opinion, if you have multiple PBNs to pull from, then you're doing a good job of diversifying, right? Because ultimately, if you're going to a public PBN, public-private PBN, right, one that you can buy links on, then you have to really be able to trust that the people that are taking these orders in know how to diversify them across a bunch of PBNs. So, for example, unlike a lot of vendors on Fiverr or something like that, we have limits on how many PBNs you can order. We have criteria that you have to meet in order to order or even get a link on a PBN, right? And that's to help insulate our sites, the PBNs themselves, as well as clients, because footprints on PBNs is a huge thing, and you've got to be able to kind of understand what you need to omit in order to keep that entire network protected. And it is a difficult thing to do. Quite honestly, even recently, we'd kind of considered even just like not doing PBNs anymore. I've got private PBNs that I use, and I think that's where most people that really learn how to build a PBN, they go that direction, because it's easier to keep that network insulated. It's easier to protect that network. Versus with big networks that are allowing public access to them. You really have to monitor what's going on, or there can be footprints that can really go ahead and destroy the entire network really quickly, and that affects everything involved, right? So yeah, like Chris said, if you do go out and start trying a bunch of different vendors, use test sites or just very small orders to very well insulated sites in the form of backlink diversity and anchor text before going ham, because that's another thing we see a lot too. Is people find out about PBN links and then they want 20 of them right out of the gate, and it's not the way it works. But yeah, it's again, if you guys are familiar with any other good PBN vendors, go ahead and drop their names in that question or whatever.
I'll also say that if you're going to be going and buying PBN links, it's probably a good idea to be able to audit them yourself.
Yes.
Um, and if you don't think you have the knowledge or whatever, the SEO knowledge to really do that yet, I would probably just stay away from PBN links until you do.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So you could, I know PBNs are cheap, but you could, if it, I would just, rather than someone not being able to audit links and just going out and buying random PBNs and saying like, oh, if it works, it's got to be good. If it doesn't work, it's bad kind of type situation. It'd be better to just kind of, even just hire a VA to do some like outreach for you, or even do it yourself if you're that strapped on the budget. Because yeah, things like niche edits and guest posts are definitely more expensive, but if you're doing it yourself, definitely cuts down on the price quite a bit. Just takes a lot more time. But yeah, and then if you want to, later down the road, if you're able to audit PBN links, well, then you could, purchase some PBN links from providers, and you'll know what you're getting since you'll be able to analyze them. Don't think I got any more to say on that one.
I think we covered it really. It's definitely one of the harder products to find out there with high quality.
For sure. It's just, yeah, they just have such a bad reputation, and it's understandably why they have such a bad reputation. It's because when you look at the extreme majority of providers, it's so bad. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll take in 50 exact match keywords and they'll spam them across a bunch of different sites, right? Where they're, using real low quality content or spun content, any number of things. But, it's about them taking in the income, and they don't care about whether the sites are de-indexed or whether there's quality control or anything like that. But a well-insulated PBN is actually a pretty hard thing to build, and a well-insulated public PBN is incredibly hard to build.
For sure. All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it there, guys. We're over time now, and yeah, I think the slowest stream we've ever had.
Yeah, maybe so.
But we got to do a big audit, and we got to answer some other questions, so yeah, hopefully someone's getting some value out of this somewhere. All right, guys, we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, and also join us on our Facebook group, the SEO Roundtable. And yeah, we'll be back next week, same place, same time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube and the Facebook group. All right, guys, adios.